guys? It's your boy Stevie G coming at you with another episode of the Daily Seamless Garage Podcast. This one's going to be a pretty good one. This one's for you mechanics and technicians already that are looking for something to give you an edge on being more efficient. So we're going to call this one 5 tips on how to be a more efficient mechanic / technician. Because these are things that I've picked up in my career so far that have improved, that have helped me improve with getting cars out faster, which in turn makes more money, also makes the company happy, makes the customer happy, makes your paycheck fatter. So, and I've picked up some of these from other mechanics, and some of these I've realized myself. But 5 tips on how to be an efficient mechanic. I won't take up too much of your time. Let's get into it. So first one's going to be remove parts and clusters. This one was huge. This is one of the first things I like to teach when I get a helper or an apprentice. It's the same thing to me, but some people get offended by the word helper, so that's why I say apprentice. Remove parts and clusters. So what I mean by that's like when you're taking something apart, taking something off, just analyze it for a second and see what's not necessary to take off. So keep that in mind. And then the other part is like, let's say you're taking an intake manifold off and it's got a lot of vacuum hoses on it. Well, instead of taking the vacuum hoses and all that stuff off separately, vacuum hoses, brackets, all that kind of stuff, leave them on the intake manifold and just disconnect them from the valve cover or what have you, and lift it up. And so when you lift the intake up, it'll have all that stuff attached, and you don't have to put all that back together and remember where it went. That's the whole point. It really is. As memory is what speeds you up, right? Remembering things and being one step ahead of yourself when you're doing the repair process is what speeds things up, because you're already moving. You got your right hand doing this while your left hand is getting ready for the next step, right? Or vice versa. So that's it. You want to stay a step ahead, and memory is a big deal. Well, the less things you have to remember about which way this hose goes, or which part did this hose come off of, or where did this bracket go. This may seem, for some of you guys, this may already be common knowledge to you, and you're like, why are you bringing this up? It's because I've seen people, even like full-blown technicians that I've witnessed, when they take something apart, they take every hose off on both ends and lay it down. Or even worse, their memory is bad, or they don't trust their memory. They'll have a cardboard box where they write down where every little bolt goes, and they put a hole in that cardboard box and put the bolt in there. Tell me that's not slowing you down. You've got to trust your memory and force your memory to remember things, right? So when I take a bolt out, I look at it. Now I don't, because I know what goes where. But if you hand me a bolt, come to the shop and hand me a bolt, I can tell you where it goes, just because I've analyzed them and I took the time. All these tips that I'm giving, man, come down to taking time in the craft, okay? You have time to learn. The time you spend right now learning, the next time you're going to be so fast. Just, take it in. Don't just blaze through things, but take it in. So, believe it or not, people take the brackets off individually, and they're trying to play the memory game on where this went. You remember the memory game when we were kids? You had to remember where the people were? Yeah. It's like that. You're trying to remember all of that at one time, and it's just going to slow you down, because now your brain is trying to think about something else when it should be thinking about putting the car back together, okay? So that's all I got to say on that. I'm going to say it one more time, because this was a really good one for me. Remove things in clusters if you can. Leave everything on it if you can, okay? That way you can remember. The second one, this one's a little bit easier for me because I'm left-handed. I don't know why, but apparently that's a deal. If you're left-handed, this comes easier to you. Become ambidextrous when it comes to your hand tools and doing things. You need to embrace that. Just because it gets difficult with, let's say you're right-handed and you're doing something with your left hand, it gets difficult. You still need to use that left hand in order to get more efficient at it, okay? And eventually it'll be like nothing. I try to explain this to people all the time. You got to be ambidextrous. Reason being is because it's fine and dandy to use your power hand, your right hand, if you're right-handed, use your power hand on everything that you can get to easily. But what if you get in that spot where you've got to get under a dash and you can only get your left hand in there to get to that certain spot because the way your hand's orientated, right? You can't get your right hand in there. If you're a mechanic, you know what I'm talking about. Sometimes you can only get one hand in there, and it's a specific hand. Let's say you're right-handed, you try to stick your left hand in there, and you got issues. That's a problem, right? I'm gonna give y'all a bonus one too that I just thought of, but we'll save that one for the end. So if you want to hear the bonus, wait till the end. I'll give you a bonus one. But become ambidextrous. Okay, it's easy. Just swap it up. You use your impact all the time with your right hand. Switch up to your left hand. Trust yourself. The more you trust yourself, the more you'll be able to do. So these are things that I've learned and did throughout the field that have made me quicker on things. Okay. Number 3, working on 2 cars at one time. Now, you can't always work on 2 cars at one time. You just can't. Sometimes you've got to focus on that one car. You gotta, if it's a big job, especially something like a transmission, an engine, whatever, something that takes up a lot of your time, you've got to focus on that one car. I understand that. But there's things you can be doing on other cars that you aren't necessarily over there watching the whole time. What do I mean by that? Computer programs, whatever it be, a TCM, ECM, engine control module, transmission control module, any kind of module on a car that needs an update. Let's say it's a recall or it just needs an update. You can have that going while you're doing your repair. That's a quick one. Some services you can do, like a transmission flush, right? You hook it up, you get it going, you can step away. Induction service, you can step away. Services like that, you can step away, okay? Or like I said, programs, anything that you can start and then step away, that's something you can do twice. You can work on 2 cars at one time. So you're not going to be able to do that every day, but I just want that in the back of your head so that you're always thinking, can I be doing more? Can I do 2 things at one time? Because the sooner you learn that and the sooner you get used to that and try to incorporate that into your everyday work schedule, you will almost instantly make more money, okay? You will almost instantly, I just came up with another bonus. So you're going to get 2 bonuses at the end of this, but you will almost instantly improve with if you do any one of these 5 that I'm telling you. Your efficiency and the time it takes you to do a job will improve, okay? You're going to make more money, and that's the key. I'm trying to help everybody out because it seems to me when guys get in the field, they get frustrated because they're not making as many hours as they would if they were hourly, but they don't realize that the cap is not there. There's no roof. You can make as many hours as you want as long as you're efficient and you're good at your job and you get stuff done. You're not playing around with the water cooler talk, okay? But I'm not going to get on that. If you don't know what water cooler talk is, look it up. So, number 4, study all systems of the cars to become faster at diagnosing. Okay? Study all systems of the cars to become faster at diagnosing. Diagnosing is part of the repair process, right? Diagnosing is the first thing you do when you get the car. You've got to diagnose it. Unless they just hand you a ticket and say, hey, it's a transmission flush. Hey, this needs a brake job. But if you're a full-blown mechanic technician, you're getting diagnostic work. You've got to figure out what's wrong with the car, what the customer's complaining about first. If you learn all of the systems, you can see what's missing. At the very least, you can go down the path and find out what's the most probable issue and start there and go down that diagnostic path. You can at least narrow it down to a system, go down that system, figure out what's missing. But if you put your time in on studying that on your, 30 minutes, an hour a day after work, especially if you're new after work, you will get better at diagnosing systems. you know, somebody comment, tell me if you're a technician mechanic and you want to know step-by-step process on how to improve your diagnostic skills. I will make a long video or a long podcast on step-by-step how to improve your diagnostic skills. I will do that. I will do that for you guys. So anyway, study all the systems so that you know them. The better you know a car, the faster you can diagnose it. Hands down, that's the facts. Number 5, have a roll-around cart organized with your daily tools. Oh my God. When I first started, I had a roll-around cart, but it's just a regular cart, okay? It's just a regular cart, no drawers or anything. It's just a cart you can put things on top of. I'd put my tools would be loaded up in my box that's on the wall, right? The big box. And throughout the day, I'd pull out tools and they'd lay there. It wasn't until I got a roll-around cart with 5 drawers that I only put tools in there that I use on the daily. Stuff that I can get to real fast so I can get my job done. That I put on the daily. That I use on the daily. My efficiency, if you didn't do any of these other ones, that one really brought my efficiency up. Because it comes back to the memory thing. I didn't have to remember where I put that tool at. It's always in the same spot. It's always in the same spot. When I get done with it, it goes back to the same spot. And that cart's with me. If a technician got sick or went to class or something and they needed their car out, I could take my tools over there with me in that cart, and I wouldn't have to worry about messing with their tools. That's a no-no. Don't use other people's tools. And I wouldn't have to worry about guessing on what tools I needed to carry over there with me. I just roll my box over there, my roll-around cart, and I'm set. I can do my job anywhere in that shop because I have it in a roll-around cart. If I didn't stress it enough, let me say it again. Before you buy a big box, if you're a new dude, before you buy a big box, get you a roll-around cart. Get you the 5-drawer roll-around cart at Harbor Freight. Please don't look at me sideways about that. Harbor Freight for real. That U.S. General 5-drawer box is what I use. It's top-notch quality, man. It's exactly what you need for what I'm telling you to use it for. Okay? And you can get it in any color you want. That white one looks clean, man. That white roll-around box is nice. It's really nice. I like that color white, but it gets dirty easy, so that's why I didn't get it. But white looks really good if you can keep it clean. Alright, that's the 5. That's the 5. Tell me which one out of the main 5 you think is going to help you improve the most. I want to know. Comment below. If you're not watching this on YouTube, send me a message. Which one of those 5 do you think is going to improve you the most? And also tell me which one of the ones you're already doing and which one you think is going to help you. So for the 2 bonuses, I'm remembering one off the top of my head. Hopefully I can remember the second one before this is over. So the first one, I was reminded when we were talking about ambidextrous, being ambidextrous. This is another tool, this is another skill that you learn, okay? Learning how to see with your hands. Now this is going to blow your mind probably, because you're like, how can you possibly see with your hands? I can literally, when I'm working on a car now and something is out of my eyesight, I can close my eyes and it's like I'm seeing the back. Let's say it's the back of the engine. It's like I'm seeing the back of the engine. I don't get lost. I know where everything is. I feel it and I know exactly what it is. Get used to that. Get used to loosening and tightening bolts with your hand. Get used to, you have to be able to see with your hands, because sometimes you can't see with your eyes. You just can't do it because it's in a hidden spot where you can't get light, where you can't get your eyes the angle to see it. So that's bonus number 1. Learn to see with your hands. Let's see. Hopefully I can remember the other one. Give me just a second. If I can't, we'll close this out. But I really should have typed it out because I think it was a good one. Man, I really don't remember it, guys. I'm sorry. It's not coming back to me. Study all systems of the cars to become faster at diagnosing. Man. Alright. Well, we're going to stop it here because I don't want to push it over the time, and I don't want to waste any airtime. So, like I said, comment below. Let me know which one of these 5, and even the extra one, the bonus one. Tell me what you think about that bonus one, by the way. Do you think that's going to help you? Are you already doing it? Let me know on that too. But comment below or send me a message if you're listening to this on one of the podcast platforms. And yeah, make sure you share this with a fellow technician or mechanic if you aren't one, or even if you are one and you have a helper or whatever, and you're listening to this. Give them this podcast to listen to. It's going to help them, and it's going to help you because they're going to quit asking you so many questions. So share this with a friend. Make sure you subscribe if you're on YouTube. Make sure you're following if you're on Spotify or any of the other podcast platforms. And we'll see you on the next one. Later.